And now, live in studio, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, a real estate and finance expert, and goes to bat for you every day as your consumer advocate. Your host, Brandon Rhymes.
Yes, here we are again, another day committed to picking a fight with the mainstream media and providing you the timely truth centered around real estate, credit, finance, marketing, interior design, writing your own book, and so much more. You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show, where our goals are to entertain, enlighten, but most importantly, we want to engage you to help you win in any marketplace.
The only thing I'm addicted to right now is winning.
Now, I want you to pull out your smartphone, save our Consumer Advocate hotline number in your phone, 813-917-1894.
You used to call me on my cell phone.
813-917-1894.
Baby, don't forget my number.
And we want you to bookmark our website, consumerqb.com. Consumerqb.com. Links to all of our expert contributors, over 80 show partners now with the Real Estate Quarterback Show and the Consumer Quarterback Show, ranging from health and nutrition to 7 or 8 different types of law that we can help you with, and so much in between. And also, this segment is brought to you by Back In Health Massage, helping people with neck, back, shoulder, hip, and leg pain feel better. Voted top 10 massage services in Tampa Bay by the readers of the Tampa Bay Business Journal's Best in the Biz. Also, big shout out to Michael Vogt, Back In Health Massage, and the Maids Cleaning Service. They do a great job cleaning our real estate properties. Big shout out to the Maids. 24-hour, 100% satisfaction guaranteed. They are referred for a reason. And we don't care if you're climbing a corporate ladder or if you throw a ladder in your truck on the way to work. This show's for you. And let's go around the horn here, make our introductions. Back in studio, Anna Van Landingham, Pinterest Pro Solutions.
Hello, everyone. I'm going to talk today about how you can use Facebook Live and repurpose it to use it on your other social media, such as Pinterest and Twitter and some of the other platforms, and some of the things that you can avoid while using it.
Excellent. Also back in studio, Sara Chiarelli. She's the owner of Artful Conceptions, interior design specialist, and expert contributor on the show. Welcome back.
Thanks, Brandon. Thanks for having me back. I'm excited today to talk to you about trends that are coming in. We've got Market next week, which is our Furniture Fashion Week, so super excited. We've got lots of new color trends coming in. And I thought while we were talking about that, we talk about what you really want to look for when you're buying furniture.
Love it. Love it. All about style. Talking about style here today as well. And also back in studio, Tara Richter, Richter Publishing.
Yep, thanks for having me on. Today we're going to talk about audiobooks and how you can actually get your book a #1 Amazon bestseller on Audible, Kindle, and paperback.
Love it, love it. Think about the explosive growth that your business will see if you write a book and you're able to get it to #1 on the list. What an awesome experience. And I'm the host of the show. I'm also the owner of Platinum MVP Realty. And I want to tell you about a couple of hot listings I've got here. I've got a Treasure Island, beautiful property, waterfront home here at 8156 Causeway Boulevard South in St. Petersburg. $646,000, over 125 feet of water frontage, new seawall with wide open views of Boca Ciega Bay at 8156 Causeway Boulevard South in St. Pete, as well as another $1 million listing here with Platinum MVP Realty, 18003 Cozumel Isle Drive, 5 bedrooms, 4 bath in Corey Lake Isles, beautiful gated community here, hotel design, very chic, modern design home here at over 3,690 square feet, listed at $1.199 million, and a great buying opportunity in beautiful Tampa Bay. We also have the cover photo or the cover home on Homes and Land magazine. If you're watching our live stream out there, you can stream it live from our website. We're looking at the cover home here, compliments of Victor Alleman with Platinum MVP Realty. I've got the cover home. It's on Marina Drive in beautiful Tarpon Springs. Great buying opportunity, beautiful home. And let's go ahead and jump into this great content. We want to help you win out there no matter what you're facing. A lot of business owners also listen to our show, and folks that are interested in Pinterest. And, we've got a Pinterest Pro in studio today. So what are you seeing out there, Anna?
Oh, there's a lot going on. I'm seeing a lot of interest in Pinterest nowadays. It seems as though people are finally catching on to the power that Pinterest has. And one of the things that I've been utilizing lately is Facebook Live. It's a very good tool because what you can do is give people a behind-the-scenes kind of thing. You can also do tutorials. And in using Facebook Live, I developed something that I call my 100 Days of How to Use Pinterest, and I go to different businesses and talk about how Pinterest can be used. And in doing that, I realized and discovered a lot of things that you need to make sure that you do to make it work more effectively for you.
Right.
And one of those is to tell people what time you're going to be on there and have a set time so that people can interact with you while you're doing this, rather than doing it randomly, which I have done a lot of, because it's like I'll be somewhere and I go, oh, this would be a great place to do my Facebook Live.
Right.
And so I do it, but you don't get the interaction that you would desire. And what I found is with using it that more people see your post than just your normal posts, which of course Facebook is probably doing it to help to promote that tool and so forth. And the really great part is that you can save the video, and then you can repurpose that video in other areas. Of course, another thing is to remember that you're live streaming, so you want to be doing the Facebook Live somewhere where you're connected to Wi-Fi, so you're not using up all the data on your cell phone. And the first couple of times I just was playing around and didn't realize that, and I was like, where'd all my data go? And then also make sure you're making your followers aware that you are doing this. Send it out in your e-newsletter, and come up with when you first do the Facebook Live, it tells you to make a headline. And so come up with a catchy headline that you can put on there that will attract people. Whoa, I don't know what that was. Will attract people to come and watch you. And also, rather, make sure that you really think it through and you have a strategy there so that it is a good video that you can then post on YouTube, and you can use it you can pin it on Pinterest. You can tweet about it, all sorts of things, which is another good idea to, tweet about the fact that you're going to be on Facebook Live.
Right.
And then that helps to bring more people to your page and to watch it and to have questions and all.
Yeah, if you just joined us, we're listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show. I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes. We're talking with Anna Van Landingham, Pinterest Pro Solutions. She goes and educates business owners and different organizations and clubs on how to properly use Pinterest. She manages our awesome page that we have as well and keeps it updated. But, so what are some of the common things that you're seeing out there with Pinterest? What are the trends? What's happening with Pinterest?
Pinterest is amazing how much it has changed. Seems like every day there's something different, and they are really gearing up to be more of a business environment. They have brought someone on board that is going to develop where you can just post the videos directly onto Pinterest and manage the videos on Pinterest, whereas right now you have to post them on YouTube and then share them on Pinterest.
Yep. And
so that's a big plus. Another big plus is their buyable pins. So I say it's kind of like Etsy or eBay, where you can put your pins on there, products that you want to sell, and the whole storefront can run through Pinterest. So that's a real plus. And they just changed it to where their promote pin, which is like the Facebook ads or boost.
Promoted pin.
Yeah. And is right there whenever you go to pin something. It's right there. It makes it more convenient for the business owner to go ahead and go through the process of promoting a pin. Whereas before you had to go through, had to close out and go through this whole other process. So they're making it much more user-friendly for business owners. And so I see that, this year, by the end of this year, it's really going to take off even more with the business owners.
Yeah, that's awesome. For business owners, it's when we think about marketing, there's so many places that we want to get our message. And, I know in the past you've talked about Pinterest being actually one of the top in terms of generating revenue. Is that right?
That's very true. And 50% of the people on there, they're going to purchase something. Okay. We always say that people go to Facebook to see what's happening. People go to Pinterest to see what they want to buy. And so that's what they're doing. And so if you have these images on there and they're clickable links to your website, then it's taking people right there. I always say, think of it like, the storefront window.
Right.
especially in New York City, they really decorate those storefront windows because they're trying to attract people into their business.
Right.
And that's the whole job of the storefront window. And the same thing is with Pinterest. You have good quality images, then it's going to, attract people to want to click on that and to contact you and use your services. On my way over here, my virtual assistant called me and said that on one of my accounts, that's a technology company, someone had private messaged, and wanted to know, how do I get in touch with these people? So, you're seeing a lot more of that sort of thing going on now as far as Pinterest is concerned.
Love it, love it. Yep, more from our expert contributors. Don't touch that dial. You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show. We're going to be talking with Sara Chiarelli as well, Artful Conceptions, and Tara Richter with Richter Publishing when we come back. Don't touch that dial. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
This is Work Done, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show, hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. I'm Brandon Rhymes, your host of the Real Estate Quarterback Show, owner of Platinum MVP Realty, and a top listing agent here in Tampa Bay. Featured in Florida Realtor Magazine multiple times. Most recently, just last week, Top Agent Magazine call. They're doing a spread on me as well. And former USF football player. I got a big game coming up this weekend. We got the Seminoles coming into town, 12 noon, Ray J. Going to be an awesome experience. Got a fun little party house over by the stadium, so I always look forward to catching up with old friends and watching some football. So it's good times, good things happening. Quarterback Show here, and we are Intelligent Talk Radio. We want to help entertain, educate, enlighten, and engage, and we want to have you reach out. The number one way that we can help you is if you're reaching out to us for anything that you hear that engages you on the show. Feel free to give us a call on our hotline. It's 813-917-1894.
Welcome to my house.
917-1894. That's our hotline. And you can also submit the form at the website, consumerqb.com. Just reach out. Let us know how we can assist you, how we can serve you. And we're back here in studio live from iHeartRadio, beautiful South Tampa, Florida here. Every Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m., your most important hour on the radio. And let's go ahead and jump back into it. Anna Van Landingham, Pinterest Pro Solutions. Let's go ahead and jump into some of the common mistakes that people make when they're posting on Pinterest.
Probably the most common mistake that people make is not putting the URL so that it's a link to somewhere. And it can be a link to your website. It can be a link to Facebook. It can be a link to anywhere. Like I said earlier, YouTube, because you can share the videos from YouTube onto Pinterest. The second thing is consistency. Most people say they don't have the time, and then they don't want to spend the money to pay someone like me to be consistent. But you've got to be on there every day, being consistent with pinning and repinning, and along with that, creating your original pins. A lot of people just repin other people's things, and I guess they don't realize that if I repin someone else's pin, that is sending traffic to their website. Right. So it's not really, you're marketing for someone else.
Right.
So, but that consistency is very, very important with Pinterest.
What's our handle out there for Pinterest? Is it at REQB Show? Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, REQB Show. So if you're interested in checking out some of Anna's work, just go to Pinterest and put at REQB Show. Check out some of our posts and some of our pins, promotions that we're doing for some of our other contributors. And so awesome stuff. Anna, thanks for educating our listeners. We're going to hear more from Anna in our lightning round coming up in the fourth segment. Now we're going to shift gears. We're going to talk with Sara Chiarelli, interior design expert and owner of Artful Conceptions. What are you seeing out there?
Well, I want to talk about color, and I want to talk about really deep, rich jewel tone colors, because that's what I think we're going to see coming up at Market next month. I think that's what we're going to see on Furniture Fashion Week. It's what we saw going down the runways. So we always kind of take a nod from New York Fashion Week and what went down there as to what's going to come in to see us, because design, home trends, home furnishings, it's a fashion industry. I think sometimes we forget that it's a fashion industry, but we're really driven by what's going on runways, what's going on textile-wise, fabric-wise, that kind of a thing. So I'm expecting a lot of really deep, rich jewel tones.
I love it.
Jades, deep sapphires. You're going to see lots of texture with it. Amazing things have been showing up in my showroom, because I love this kind of like month before Market happens, which means that like all these new sample books start arriving and different fabrics and different things. We're seeing leathers coming in these super deep, fantastic like colors. Like you're seeing peacock blue leather. I mean, it's just, you're seeing deep, oh my gosh, we got one in the other day. It was like a deep magenta leather. Like, and I'm sure everybody kind of looks at it and goes, who's putting magenta leather on that?
I would.
Right? Exactly.
That's different.
And that's what I love. I love we're getting back into some fun. Golds are still really, really prevalent in design and in what's going on right now. So you're thinking things that mix well with gold. Jades, emeralds, deep topaz colors, all of that is going to mix really well with those gold tones that are still really, really prevalent and popular throughout.
Yeah, it's interesting. Now, whenever they're making that material, do they use like a dye or something like that to create it?
Absolutely. So especially when you're dealing with leather, you want to have an aniline dyed leather. So what that means is that when the hide gets dyed, the dye goes all the way through the hide. So if you flip over the other side of the leather sample, it should be the same exact color as the front.
Interesting.
If it's not, then they're just using a topical dye, and that's not going to last on your furniture. You want to make sure that anything that's going in furniture is an aniline dye, so it goes all the way through. So if you scratch it or something rubs up against it or whatever, that color's still all the way through the hide. You don't want to, like, here in our Florida sun, have a little sun come at it, and the next thing you know, there's no pigment left in your leather, and it's all gone. And you had that beautiful magenta leather that now is some weird gray color.
What if one of our listeners are out there? By the way, if you just joined us, you're listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show. We're talking with Sara Chiarelli, interior design extraordinaire here in Tampa Bay and owner of Artful Conceptions. Now, what if somebody says, well, those colors, they make me a little bit nervous. I'm a little bit more of a conservative type of a homeowner. or business owner, potentially. What are we looking at there? More earth tone type things?
Earth tones are always going to be popular. And then, and the thing is that earth tones won't ever go out of style. They will always be good. You can always do cream on top of cream on top of cream on top of cream, using different textures, different feelings all the way through there. The one thing that I do suggest is do some small things in the new color trends. So pillows are fantastic. Accessories, maybe a little accent table, something along those kind of lines that you can do, whether they're vases, trays, accessories, pillows. Those are all great fun things that are not really expensive. You can change them out easily when the trends change, and you can still have that fun newer color without being so anxious over some of it.
Interesting. Yeah, I love it. And we talk about the ability to resell a property as well. When you utilize Sara and her team, she's going to be able to help you make just a couple of minor shifts. It might be painting one wall and adding some throw pillows, but it's going to help resell value in your property, because when that buyer walks in, that first impression sets in, and that's so important today.
Well, exactly. And the thing is you want it to seem on trend. The last thing that I'm sure Brandon, if you walk into a house and you see what was on trend 5-10 years ago, that seller's taking money, that person that's looking to buy, they're taking money off in their head. They're going, oh my gosh, I have to redo the whole thing. It might only need paint, but in their mind, because that was popular 5 years ago. That was popular.
Tuba.
Right, exactly. The Uba Tuba that we talked about before. Or, I was recently at a house and it was, it had, the wood molding everywhere. Everywhere, like full big walls, completely clad in dark wood and all of that. And that was really popular about 10 years ago. Well, that buyer, when they walk in, they go, I got to take all of that off. I've got to change all of that. I'm taking, and I'm sure they're not taking a couple $100s off. They're taking big numbers off in their head, and you don't want your seller to lose out on that kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So we can help you make sure that we update those things prior to you listing it, so that you can get as much money as you can.
Yeah, maximize the proceeds on the sale of your real estate properties. And I've got a listing coming up that has a lot of wood in it. Is there something that you would recommend? I mean, it's custom, beautiful wood architecture throughout. I don't know if that's the same one. I can't remember if we referred to talk to her. But what would you do in that situation? Like if it was a nice lighter style wood, I think it might have been a pine. But what would you recommend to add some variation or?
I love a whitewash. And we're in Florida, so whitewash never goes out of style here because it always kind of has a little bit of a beachy feel. So if you have a lot of wood going on in there, think about whitewash. Think about painting. If it's all the way up a wall, think about painting it white. Right. You're not taking it all off, but you're also making the room feel bigger. The trend has been for a while to have the white molding. We've been doing white molding, white crown, and everything for a long time. Update your trim and your molding. If it's really dark, go for the white. It'll brighten the entire space, and it'll make it all really pop, and it'll seem like, oh, look, they just redid all of this.
Interesting. Okay. So you're able to make small changes, minor tweaks that are going to help you, reposition the feel of the room.
Correct. And then, of course, you want to make sure that you have furniture that's going to work well within the space. Right. You don't over clutter it. Don't go that route with it. You want to make sure that it's wide and open and that it shows the maximum amount of seating that you can have, because you want to show large amounts of seating when they're coming to look. But you also don't want it to be like, oh my gosh, there's 10 chairs in this tiny little room. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's interesting too, and we talked in the past about different TV shows and things that we've seen on TV, and some of the decisions that go in behind design and the architecture and home remodeling as well. Big shout out to Jason Avery, our home remodeling expert and partner on the show, Avery Construction. I know you work closely with designers or remodelers as well. So maybe when we come back, we'll touch on some of that and different things that you're seeing trends-wise in that space. And also we're going to talk with Tara Richter of Richter Publishing, and we want to remind you Hula Bay is our official restaurant partner. Big shout out to Hula Bay. Go say hello to Mike Finnegan and his team over down on Tyson Avenue, beautiful South Tampa. Sushi, waterfront ambiance, great service. Let them know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you for a free water with lemon. He takes care of all of our listeners, and we're back here right after these messages. Don't touch that break. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Enjoy tranquil seclusion in an eco-lover's paradise. Paddling through the mangroves where the only sounds you'll hear are the sounds of nature. Because you deserve to relax on vacation. Visit Pasco County, Florida.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonatti created, perfected, and patented the Bonatti spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonatti invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonatti spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonatti succeeds where others fail.
Ever need a doctor after hours? Well, searching won't help. But what do? You could go to the urgent care or ER, but if only there was a better way. Introducing the MNO Plus card. No waiting rooms, no copay, no consultation fee, giving you 24/7 access to a doctor by phone or online. It's easy to get started with affordable plans starting at $15 a month for a family of 5. For more information, visit mnoplus.com today.
Everyone's story is different, so why be limited to just one or two options? With Norcom's Norflex Home Loan, you're given the flexibility to tell your story. Pick your terms from 8 to 30 years, all while maintaining a low, fixed mortgage rate. You can pay off your loan more quickly or choose a term based on your budget and timeline. Whatever you do with the Norflex Home Loan, make it part of your financial plan. Norflex, short-term, long-term, your terms. Apply online at norcommortgage.com.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com. This segment is brought to you by MJ Martinez over at AdvantagePI.com. He's a private investigator, partner on the show. Great content when he comes on with some of our attorney partners, but he can help in many different situations: cheaters, child custody, divorce, corporate insurance, criminal surveillance, more and more areas to cover. Check out AdvantagePI.com, and a big shout out to MJ Martinez, show partner on the Real Estate Quarterback Show, as well as Smart Move Moving and Storage, the official moving partner of the Real Estate Quarterback Show. Say hello to Hannah and her team over at Smart Move Moving and Storage. They do a great job on our local moves here between counties and smaller moves. And Brandon Rhymes here, host of the show, owner of Platinum MVP Realty and a top listing agent. Brand new listing here at 700 St. Petersburg Drive West in Oldsmar. This is a commercial building on a 1/4 acre, and it's a great buying opportunity. 700 St. Petersburg Drive West, Oldsmar. and it's about 1,400 square feet and only listed at $295,000. Any business owners out there, check it out. And also our featured property listing of the month is 414 South Royal Palm Way in Tampa. Gorgeous estate-style home, Spanish architecture, and listed at $1.195 million, over 4,800 square foot living and beautiful beach park. One of the most desirable zip codes in all of Tampa Bay is 414 South Royal Palm Way in beautiful Tampa.
No shoes, no shirt, and no problem.
All right, so we're back here in studio. The first segment we heard from Anna Van Landingham, Princess Pro Solutions, and we're talking now with Sara Chiarelli, Artful Conceptions, color trends, what to look for in the quality of furniture, and what else are you seeing out there?
So I wanted to make sure I went over with everybody what to look for when they're purchasing furniture. Okay. And usually the biggest thing is I want that really comfortable sofa, and that's going to last them. So the things that I want to make sure that you're asking is, what is it made of? What's the framing of it? Because there's a lot of manufacturers that are going to put like a cardboard in your arms. Like, when you were a kid, did you ever have like mom yell at you, don't sit on the arm of the sofa or something like that? Right. Well, there are manufacturers and that's because there's some manufacturers out there that it's, they put cardboard in there to keep the shape of it. You want to make sure it's an all wood frame, so that somebody can sit on the arm of the sofa, can walk on the back of it. You want to make sure that it's going to last.
That might be a little dangerous.
I was going to say, we might have to talk about that one day. I used to set showrooms all the time and hang the artwork by walking on the back of the sofa. That's another story.
I remember doing that as a kid, too. Kids can get away with it.
I was a gymnast as a kid, so I'm pretty sure I walked on everything. But you want to make sure you have a solid wood frame. You want to make sure you have an 8-way hand tie spring system. What that means is that those coils are in there. They just like kind of you think about your mattress coils, but they have coils that go and they sit on the frame, and they're tied together by hand 8 different ways.
Nice.
No sinuous springs. You don't want that no sag sinuous spring. Those are the ones that are going to sit like a rock, and then the next thing you know, one of those stake wires are going to pop and you're going to be sitting on the ground. So stay away from those. Go with the 8-way hand tied. And then if you want extra super comfy, you want a spring and down cushion. I love a spring and down cushion. It has a spring system inside the cushion, has down and fiber on the top and the bottom. So it's soft to sit in, but when you stand up, the cushion comes back on its own, no fluffing of cushions.
What about the memory foam couches? I saw one and I thought, well, that's really cool because memory foam's kind of new. Is that good for a couch?
Sometimes we put it in between, so a lot of those spring and down cushions will have some of that memory foam encasing in it. But really, you want some of the foam is in there is good, but you want to make sure it's not a loaded foam. A lot of times people think if it's heavier, then it's got to be a better quality. Well, the reality is that they load chemicals into the foam to make it heavier, and all it does is break down that cushion faster. So, you just want to make sure. Sometimes they should be lighter. You want to know your density is about 1.8 on that.
I love it. We're educating our consumers out there. We're educating, so next time they walk in to buy furniture and they're going to shock the salesman. He's going to say, the consumer's going to say, hey, do you have an 8-way hand-tied, what was it?
8-way hand-tied cushion system.
Cushion system.
Your spring system. Yeah, absolutely. You want an 8-way hand-tie, and let's be honest, we want it made in the U.S.
Yeah,
let's not import that. We want it from the U.S. We make some of the best furniture that there is, and we have real artisans that make it here in the U.S.
I love it. Sara Chiarelli, Artful Conceptions, interior design expert on the Real Estate Quarterback Show. All right, let's switch gears. We're going to talk with Tara Richter now, Richter Publishing. We're going to talk about ways that, she's got this audio book. She's got Plaintiff 101 reaching #1 bestseller in Audible, Kindle, and paperback using an Amazon bestseller campaign. Good stuff. A lot of good stuff.
Yeah, so it's really cool because we originally published this a year ago, September 15th, 2015, and we did the Amazon bestseller campaign just for the paperback, because that's the only version we had at that time. And it became a #1 Amazon bestseller, pushing John Grisham down to #3.
Nice.
Which is pretty cool since hers is nonfiction, but since it's still in the litigation category, that's how we were able to outsell John Grisham. So then we decided a year later to do the audiobook. So it's funny because, I published 40-some books. We have 10 Amazon bestsellers, but we only have 3 total now audiobooks. And I'm really trying to push authors to do more audio because it's like the fastest growing trend right now.
I love audiobooks.
Yeah. Most younger people actually would rather listen to an audiobook or a podcast versus in sitting down and reading a book.
Yep.
So you can listen to it in the car, taking your kids to school, while you're taking your dog for a walk. You know, you can just multitask in this fast, busy world that we all live in.
Yep.
So, so she decided, you know, to do the audio, and then we did the bestseller campaign a year to date after the fact, September 15th, 2016. So that was just not that long ago. I don't even know what today is. It was a couple of days ago. But so the awesome thing is that while we were doing that, we weren't even trying, but I printed out a screenshot from the computer. We made it number one, the audiobook, and then we also got the Kindle number one. So right here in this screenshot, you can see the Audible is number one, Kindle's number two, and then we also made the Audible a hot new release, because those are two different categories.
Love it.
The bestseller and then the hot new release. And that was in the litigation procedures category, but then we also got the Kindle to number one as well in just the litigation category.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's one of the cool things is when you do these bestseller campaigns with us, you know, we push it out there through all different means and tons of marketing. And then it usually helps the other books come up as well. Because I just got an email from the author, Karen Mertes, this morning, and she's like, did you see the paperback is now a bestseller again?
Nice.
So it pushed that up a year later. Because, you know, obviously when people see this, because there's millions of books listed on Amazon, and to make it number one, that's how you get your book to stand out.
Love it.
So people click on it, they see it, and they're like, oh, there's an audio, a paperback, and a Kindle.
Yep.
So it's kind of funny. You know, some people like will go and look at a Kindle, and then when they find out there's an audio, they're like, well, I'd rather have that. I'd rather listen to it.
Yeah.
So
I think I agree with you. I love to have the audio versions of books, and it's because, you know, you can utilize what Tony Robbins calls no extra time. You can do it as you're folding laundry. You mentioned walking the dog, making a jog, going to the gym. I love that because I look at my personal development as a race. You know, I want to beat the next guy. You know, when they're sleeping in, I'm up early. I'm at the gym, rising and grinding. So, you know, and I know a lot of our contributors are the same way. So good point. And then some people like to pull out the highlighter, and they're going to prefer the other way of an actual book in hand. And And you know, so to each his own, and you know, it's what a great world we live in. You know,
it is.
We can do that.
It's awesome. And what I was just sharing earlier with Sarah was that, you know, we also put all of our books in a Kindle Match program. So when we have the paperback, you actually get the Kindle for free. So then you can have it on both mediums. So, you know, you can, because some people prefer to read on a Kindle, some people prefer to have a paperback, but you automatically get that because, I mean, what's the cost of sending you a digital file when you've already paid $20 for the book?
Yeah.
You know, and then for audibles, you know, you can actually get a membership. So you could actually download an audiobook for free. You don't have to pay anything.
Yep.
And then it's a membership. I think maybe it's like $14 or $15 a month.
Yep.
I'm not sure how many books you can download,
Yep.
but you know, there's more options available since it's a little bit of an easier, you know, format.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Let's also plug that authors event coming up next month as well.
Yes, absolutely. So we have our third annual Author Awards Ceremony and Book Gala coming up on October 20th at Cooper's Hawk Winery. It's from 5:30 to 8:30 p.m. We have our celebrity of that night is going to be stand-up comedian Mike Rivera, who was voted America's Funniest Teacher on The View. And he is a teacher here locally in Clearwater, which is really cool. So his book will be there available for sale as well, from stand-up comedian to stand-up teacher. And he's going to do a 10-minute comedy skit, so that'll be a lot of fun. And then we have a lot of other great books that are just coming out. We have this one's by Dr. Karen A. Kelly. It's a transplant journey about going through a double lung transplant with her husband.
Very
and
cool.
how difficult that was. And then we also have Debbie Kilbrew, which this is her book, Finding My Way Back.
Nice.
And it's a tragic story told by a woman who cannot speak.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
Yeah. So, and that's just a few of the
Powerful.
books.
Powerful.
We have a ton. You know, if people go to my website, richardpublishing.com/events, they can still get early bird tickets right now, which are only $35. And that includes bottomless wine and endless appetizers.
Beautiful. We also have the book here that we co-authored with Connor Anthony here as well, going to be released as
Yep.
well. Real excited about things happening and a lot of positive momentum around the show, around all of our partners. I love to hear all the good stuff, the good feedback and things happening out there. So stay with us. Don't touch that dial. We're coming into our lightning round. Top tips, things to do, things to avoid. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
This is Work Done, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. I'm Brandon Rhymes, your host here, Real Estate Quarterback Show, Intelligent Talk Radio. We've got some intelligent folks here in studio helping educate our listeners out there, helping to live a better life and leave a better legacy for your family. And I've got a couple of hot listings here. I got back on the market here, 27-acre ranch on Gardner Road in Tampa, just south of the Citrus Park Mall. A great development opportunity, assisted living facilities, potentially custom homes. Any developers, builders, entrepreneurs out there, check out Gardner Road. It's on LoopNet, it's on MLS, and it's back on the market. $1.27 million listing of mine for 27 acres, and it's beautiful, beautiful land just south of Citrus Park Mall, and it's in basically central Tampa Bay. And also another single-family property here out East County. It's 5722 Tanager Side Road in Lithia, and it's in Parkside Village, Fishhawk. It's 4 bedrooms, 3 bath, over 3,200 square foot, $450,000. Great buying opportunity in sunny Tampa Bay.
Somewhere sunny and 75.
All right, and this segment is brought to you by Printing Solutions, Inc. Big shout out to Greg Geyer over at Printing Solutions, Inc. Does a great job printing all of our business cards, postcards, flyers, mailers, pop-up banners, you name it, he prints it. Chloroplast signs, digitalprintingsource.com. And a big shout out to Greg Geyer, Printing Solutions, Inc., printingsource.com. And Greg Arnold as well. He's a PEO. He can help you with business, payroll compliance as well. Big shout out to Cornerstone PEO and Greg Arnold with Cornerstone PEO. Does a great job. That way you can focus on your business and allow him to handle the some of the administrative type payroll activities, compliance. So two great partners of the show. We're really proud of all of our 80-plus show partners now between our two brands. And we're back here in studio live from iHeartRadio, and we're talking with Tara Richter of Richter Publishing and how you as a business owner or just an entrepreneur or maybe just somebody who wants to leave a legacy behind, how you can write a book and publish a book and really just grow your sphere of influence.
Yep. We have different packages to help people along the way. So we can actually either write the book for authors. They can write it. We get the rough draft, edit it, clean it up. Or they can write it, edit it, and give us a pretty much clean and ready to go. So, we finance everything for them over a period of 12 months just to make it easier for people. So pretty much anywhere you need help or anything to do with books, we can help you.
Yeah, love it, love it. We also have that. Let's go ahead and plug our listeners as well. Maybe they missed it. The awards ceremony coming up next month as well.
Yep, awards ceremony October 20th at Cooper's Hot Gallery. You can just go to my website, richterpublishing.com/events to get your early bird tickets. And another cool thing at the event that we're going to start this year is we're going to start a writing contest where all the details will be available that day. But we're going to do a writing contest where we're going to have people write 30,000 words. The due date's going to be probably next July. Mm-hmm. And then when we get all those manuscripts and review them at 2017 awards event, one person will win a free publishing contract.
Love it. Yeah, that's a great way to give back
awesome.
and help some of these younger authors, maybe potentially younger. I say younger, maybe it's older. But, anybody can apply, but all the details will be available at the gala. Very cool. Cooper's Hawk, great restaurant, wonderful wine over there, and
yes,
and we're going to have our book there as well. Become the MVP in your industry by surfing the radio waves. And Connor Anthony helped co-write that. Talked giving a perspective from a radio show host who's significantly grown his sphere of influence over the last 3 years. Also, Connor's going to be giving the executive producers experience behind the scenes and all those tips and tricks that we've learned. So you can, as a business owner, take advantage of that. Model an expert, so to speak, as Tony Robbins says. All right, we're jumping into our lightning round. We're going to go around the horn here. We're going to get top consumer tips, things to do, things to avoid, and potentially business owner tips as well. Anna Van Landingham, Pinterest Pro, you are up first.
Whenever you do something like Facebook Live, remember to repurpose your information. You can use it to write a blog from that to give them more information on the topic. You can, as I said before, use it to put on YouTube and pin to Pinterest and to tweet about it. And you can also use it to run ads on Facebook or Pinterest. So it's all about integrating all of your social media together to get a more effective strategy plan.
Love it. Sara Chiarelli, Artful Conceptions.
I'm going to say if you're afraid of the trends that are coming out for your home or your office, go put them in little bits. Put them in things that you can change easily. but don't not do them. You want to make sure that you're continuing to have some of the newest things that are going on in the industry in your home, in your office, to make it, keep it current, so that if you do actually get to the point where you're ready to sell, you're not having a massive amount to do to update.
Love it, love it. Tara Richter, Richter Publishing.
If people, want to actually sit and write the book themselves, some advice that I give them is to do a 4-week writing challenge where you sit down and write 715 words a day for 28 days, which is 20,000 words, which is an equivalent of a 5x8 100-page book, exactly this size. So, you don't have to write 100,000 words. It's really not that difficult, because 715 words a day is like a page, and I know we all text more than that. So just focus that energy on sitting down. And when I'm writing my own books, I like to do it first thing in the morning. So you sit down, write for an hour, get it done and over with, just like going to the gym. You don't have to worry about it the rest of the day. And then you can have a rough draft this size.
Yeah, and a 1,000-mile journey begins with that first step, right? So I know before I wrote my first book, I was kind of having that same, analysis paralysis type thing. The first book I wrote, and so what happens is, I think, is we're all busy, and we're like, we try to think in our minds like, when am I going to have time to sit down and really write this book? And we kind of have this big task in mind, think of it, as an elephant in the room, and then. When you really break it down, like you said, Tara, first thing in the morning, write 15, 20 minutes. Or first thing before you go to bed, write 15, 20 minutes. You're able to accumulate time over time, and it's going to come together within 6 months, 8 months, 9 months, a year.
Absolutely, or even faster. And, some things that I really like to do is, I like to just utilize, like the notepad on your phone.
Yes.
I mean, when I'm walking on the treadmill, that's when I get inspired and your creativity starts to flow. And I will on the treadmill just start writing stuff down. And then it's going to be gobbledygook. And that's the whole thing. You're not supposed to edit. You're not supposed to be like, oh, I'll fine tune all this. Just get it out of your head and onto paper. And then what I do is I write on the treadmill, make sure not to trip and hurt myself. And then I email it to myself. So then when I get back to the office, it's in my email. Then I can copy and paste it, put it into Word, and then I can clean it up.
Yeah, absolutely. You talk into your phone these days. This great, wonderful world we live in. It makes it easy, and I do that as well. And it's interesting when you are working out and you're on the treadmill and you're for me, doing squats or maybe power clean sometimes, is you're pumping in highly oxygenated blood into your mind and your body, and it's going to really help you as an entrepreneur. So kind of a tip there as well. And to build on that is the power of focus. What you focus on is going to expand in your life, and we want to move from reacting to creating as much as we can, because as we go throughout this busy day, everything's happening so fast. There's a lot of stress out there. As we go through this day, there's studies that show we're interrupted every 3 minutes on average, and it takes about 11 minutes to actually recapture your flow and where you were at. Kind of relating it to REM sleep as a newborn. Or a mother, that has a newborn, can relate to that. She may be in bed 8 hours that night, but the constant waking up and interruptions by the newborn, it's pulling her out of REM sleep, that deep sleep. And, most of people react to text messages and emails and tweets and all this fun stuff. And, we got to focus on the vital few, and what we focus on is going to expand. So it's very important as a business owner. Let's see if we can make one more round around the horn here. Top consumer tips, things to do, things to avoid. Anna Van Landingham.
If you haven't tried Pinterest, then you should try to give it a whirl. And you can always go to my website, www.pinterestpro.com. And on there is my calendar, and you can sign up for a free 30-minute consultation about how Pinterest would relate to your business.
Love it. Sarah.
I want to give a quick shout out to a fundraiser going on to benefit the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Department. It is the ABC Superhero Fun Run. It's in memory. It's the third annual. It's in memory of a beautiful little boy who passed, who was a superhero. So this goes out to his superheroes, which is the Hillsborough County Sheriff. It's October 8th. It's only $15 per runner. It's $25 per family, and that includes lunch for each runner. So come on out. It's at East Bay High School on October 8th, registration 9 a.m., and support your Hillsborough County Sheriff's Department.
Awesome. Tara Richter.
My last piece of advice is kind of what you were saying before, like you have to create during chaos. There is never a perfect time to sit down and write a book. You just have to do it, and you have to make time for the things that are important in life.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely. Leave a better legacy. What can you do? What do you focus on every day? And that's the key is taking the time, focusing on what you know is going to make a difference, what's going to move that needle. If you're in a sales position, it's prospecting, it's negotiating, and focusing on what the key goals are and maintaining that, and then having the personal discipline or the self-discipline, which is what Napoleon Hill says is the number one success strategy of all, is the power of self-discipline, the ability to make yourself do what you should do, whether you feel like it or not. That's going to help you win. That's going to help you thrive. I want to thank all of our expert contributors for coming in today. Anna Van Landingham, Sara Chiarelli, Tara Richter as well. And remind you, consumerqb.com. You can see links to all of our expert contributors. Their contact information is there, cell phones, websites, and emails as well. And please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness, something as simple as packing up groceries, taking it to the homeless person that you see on the streets, and maybe buying a cup of coffee for a serviceman or woman or a police officer. We'll see you next time, same time and place.